What's going on, guys? Krusty Case here from the Go Boys Network, coming to you with the MLB slate preview for August 19th. Before we hop into this one, I remind everybody you can get all these odds at FanDuel Sportsbook. Let's not waste any more time. Let's jump right into the slate. So the first one on our slate, the Arizona Diamondbacks taking on Miami Marlins. Brandon Pfaadt. Currently, the Marlins have not announced a starter. Looks like it's going to be some sort of bullpen game. They're calling somebody up from the minors, but doesn't appear to be fully stretched. So, I mean, for me here, it's going to be the Diamondbacks on the money line. I just like backing Brandon Pfaadt. It's a guy we talked about a lot. I like his stuff. He works, pretty quick, very efficient. And against the Miami team, who we all know has some pretty quick at-bats, not necessarily the best at-bats, I think he can take advantage. Really, in my opinion, the only major concern in this lineup is Jake Burger. So if Pfaadt can work around him, which I think he can, I don't see how he doesn't pitch well in this game. I don't see how the Diamondbacks don't get the win here. So give him the D-backs on the money line. Our next one, Cincinnati Reds taking on the Toronto Blue Jays. Another one here, Reds have yet to announce the starter. We will wait on that. Jays rolling out Kevin Gausman. For me here, I think it's the Jays or pass. Jays on the money line. Gausman, obviously, the K stuff hasn't quite been there this season, but he's actually looked pretty good in terms of pitching. Kind of figured it out as of late, been pitching really deep into games. So I do like him against this Reds lineup. I don't know personally if I'll be on the strikeouts. The strikeout stuff just isn't there anymore. If you've been paying attention, he's really struggled with tunneling his pitches, and that's kind of where he found success before, was being able to locate the fastball low in the zone and then tunnel his splitter off of that. Well, he hasn't really been able to do that this season. He's really struggled with it, actually. His fastball has been pretty fat most of the time. I'm really struggling to get to the bottom of the zone. While I do think he can probably get some strikeouts against the Reds just because of the matchup and how bad they've been against certain pitches, I don't necessarily love his strikeouts in the spot. I really do think the Jays win this game, though, regardless of whether or not Gausman picks up his strikeouts or not. I think the Jays win this one. Our next one, the Baltimore Orioles taking on the New York Mets. Trevor Rogers versus David Peterson. It's going to be the over for me. It's really simple. Trevor Rogers came over from the Marlins. We all know they've been working on some stuff. I'm going to continue to work on some stuff, and I just don't think he's there yet. Gets a Mets team who, while they're not crushing lefties, just feels like a good spot against a guy they're very familiar with because he pitched in the division prior to getting traded. Really feel like the Mets get to him here. Flip side, David Peterson, obviously he's a lefty, going up against Baltimore, who is the #1 hitting team in baseball against lefties. This is just a brutal matchup for both these pitchers, and I think this thing gets out of hand pretty quick. So give me the over 8.5 here. Our next one, the Pittsburgh Pirates taking on the Texas Rangers. This is Luis Ortiz. The Rangers yet to announce a starter. So for me here, I do like Texas. I'm a little weary of who they're going to put out there. I know DeGrom has been rehabbing, but I've yet to see anything about if he's coming back or not yet. I think he's still a little bit away from being ready to go. Obviously, if it was DeGrom, we'd be on Texas regardless. But I do like the Rangers on the money line, regardless of who they put out there. I think it's a great spot for them to get to Ortiz. And this Pirates team, their bats on the road just haven't been consistent enough for me to trust. So give me the Rangers on the money line in this one. Our next one, the Los Angeles Angels taking on the Kansas City Royals. Carson Fulmer versus Seth Lugo. So I like Kansas City here. I like Lugo. He's going to throw his curveball quite a bit. We all know it's a good one. Give me the Seth Lugo 5Ks in the Kansas City Royals money line. It's right around even money. I absolutely love it. I think he can easily get us 5Ks here against this Angels team, who has pretty much got rid of every low K guy they have. Trotting on a lineup on a day-to-day basis that has 7 true targets, with pretty much everybody outside of one guy with some pretty good K potential. So I like Lugo to pitch well against this team. It's an Angels team that, in my opinion, at this point in the season, just really doesn't care. So give me the Seth Lugo 5Ks in the Royals money line. Our next one, the Boston Red Sox taking on the Houston Astros. Tanner Houck versus Yusei Kikuchi. So for me in this one, I think Kikuchi's Ks are 100% in play. Obviously, Boston against lefties has been a spot that we've attacked a million times this season. Don't see that changing here. In terms of a side, I do like Houston. I think Houck struggles in this spot. A, he's on the road, and B, this is a high-contact team in the Astros. And if you've watched Houck pitch, he really isn't looking to miss bats as much as he was earlier in his career. Definitely trying to be more of a pitcher as opposed to a thrower. And while I think that he could, probably pitch relatively deep into this game because his PC will stay pretty low, I do think he struggles against this Houston lineup, who the bats are starting to really come alive here. We saw it in that White Sox series. So give me the Astros on my line here at a very playable -130.
Wait, before we get back to the picks, I wanted to thank you all for watching. Friends don't let friends watch videos without hitting the like button. So go ahead and press the thumbs up button and like the video. If you're new here and not subscribed, you should go ahead and do so because we're dropping new content each and every day on the Gold Boys Network. We strive to cover every sport and give out picks and analysis and valuable information for free on the Gold Boys Network. So make sure you're subscribed and hit the bell so you can get notified when we drop something new. I'm Brad Thomas. Let's get back to the picks.
Our next one, the Minnesota Twins taking on the Padres. This is Zebby Matthews versus Michael King. It's going to be the under for me in this one. So we get a Twins team on the road. They've been a bit more inconsistent, having to travel, obviously, across pretty much the entire country. Michael King's has been really locked in at home, and I want to back him here. Like the under, like I said, I like both these bullpens a ton. And I think these starters kind of get the best of these lineups here. Zebby Matthews, obviously a young guy, has some pretty good stuff, though, and it's obviously going to face a Padres team who's never seen him. So just a really good spot for him to pitch well, in my opinion. Hopefully give him a good 5 before they turn over that pen that I talked about. Like the under here. Our next one, the Tampa Bay Rays taking on the Oakland Athletics. This is Todd Bradley versus Joe Boyle. I love Todd Bradley. This Tampa Bay offense is extremely hard to trust, though. So I do think Joe Boyle can find some success. Like I said, I like Todd Bradley a lot. I'm going to go with the Nerfy. So for me, it's, like I said, it's the Nerfy, no runs in the first inning. We need 6 outs. I think Joe Boyle, he's locked in enough to get us through the first inning. Beyond that, I don't know what happens. But this Tampa Bay team doesn't really scare me in terms of their bats. So as much as I want to back them, it's just a hard time for me to trust that offense. So I like the no runs in the first inning. We'll get in, get out, get a cash, and go about our day. If you want a side, I do like the Rays, like I said, but it's just really hard to back their offense right now. Our next one, the Chicago White Sox taking on the San Francisco Giants. Jonathan Cannon versus Kyle Harrison. Giants hit minus 225. Obviously, it's a gross price. I think they win this game. If you want to take them on the run line, I think that works too. Kyle Harrison finally looked like he was healthy in his last start. I think that continues here. He was dealing with an ankle injury. The velo is down for a bit. Velo bumped up a couple miles an hour last start. Expected to continue to go up here, which obviously would mean that he's healthy. Really just like him in this spot. Obviously, we're not going to play that straight, so feel free to parlay it with somebody else. But like I said, I wouldn't be opposed to the minus 1.5 either if you want to go that route. I think the Giants take care of business here relatively easy. Hey guys, I just want to give a quick reminder that new users can bet $5 at FanDuel on any of the bets in this video and win $150 in bonus bets if the bet wins. Now let's get back to the bets. Next one, the last one on this slate, the Seattle Mariners take on the Dodgers. Brian Wu versus Gavin Stone. I am on the Dodgers here to minus 150. I'm not sure why this line is so short. I like Gavin Stone a lot, and I think he pitches really well against this Seattle lineup. So obviously I think his Ks are in play without question. And like I said, this guy's just been good, man. He's been so consistent. He's really the only starter who's been healthy for them this season. And I really like him to get this, to pick his club up here and get him a win at home. Brian Wu, he's been pretty good this season too. I'm not going to take that away from him. The Seattle Mariners rotation is definitely one of the best in baseball. I think he could struggle here though. This is a tough lineup. A lot of their big boys had the day off today, so the lineup will be the normal lineup for this one. And I just think he struggles in this spot. Give me the Dodgers at a playable minus 150 in my opinion. If you don't want to lay that, then pair it with the Giants in the game before. And I think both teams win for relative ease. But like I said, minus 150, I'd play that all day long for the Dodgers. That does conclude the slate. The sun is finally behind the trees now, so I'm not blinded. But hey, we're done talking. So before I hop off here, I'll give you guys my 3 best bets. Apologies for not doing a live for the Sunday slate. I just had a whole bunch of stuff going on, so couldn't get to it. We'll hopefully resume that next Sunday. Got a whole bunch of college football content coming out as well with a couple of other guys. Super excited to bring you guys that. So before I hop off though, 3 best bets. Let's roll with Diamondbacks on the money line. Let's go with the Nerfy in the Tampa Bay Rays Oakland game, and then the Dodgers money line. So as always, you can get all of my official plays at goldboys.com. If you have a gambling problem, don't want to hurt a gambler. Thank you guys.